You already know it's your boy, the Maniac. And you already know why I'm here. I'm here to talk that post fight. That Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin post fight. That Subriel Matias versus Paro post fight. And man, oh man. But before I do, you already know why I'm repping. That Four Corners Boxing, baby. And also the Boxing Roundtable. Make sure you go like, share, subscribe to both channels. Now, with that being said, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Frank Martin versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Listen, man, Tank ain't nobody touching that dude from 135 to 140. That's the bottom line. That dude go in there, don't get me wrong, he start getting cooked for some reason. He be getting outboxed, but he's downloading that data, baby. He's downloading that data. He's like, all right, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. And once Gervonta start cooking, bro, he turned that oven into 500 degrees. You gonna get fried. You gonna get baked. Listen, Frank Martin, he boxed beautifully. He countered beautifully. He moved beautifully. He did everything he needed to do to make himself, give himself a legitimate shot of winning this fight. The problem is that Tank gonna get to you eventually, and he gonna touch you. And once he touch you, you know what happens. He got that night quill. And when you take that night quill, guys, what you do? You go to sleep. And that's why he did to Frank Martin, man. Tank is just not a puncher, guys. For those that's new to boxing, for those that know boxing, but they think they know boxing, Tank has it all. He could box, he could punch, he can move, he's a thinker, he has good footwork, and he has dog in him too. Listen, again, from 135 to 140, I don't see anybody beating him. Can he be beat? Of course. I think the two fighters that have the best chance is Shakur and Tio. I think Tio has the better shot of anybody from 135 to 140. But regardless, man, Tank will be the favorite to beat everybody in those two weight classes, and deservedly so, because Tank just has more twos on his true belt than just about all those fighters. Maybe just Tio might have that same kind of true belt. But Tank has the intelligence. And plus, Tio, his inconsistency, no bueno. Tank is consistent. What a fight. What a knockout. Shout to Tank. The co-main event. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, moves up to fight Alexander Gazvik in his debut at light heavyweight. And I'm going to tell you this right now, he looked anything but a monster last night. And that's no knock. He looked good. He dominated the fight, but he won't be no monster at 175. These guys are big up there. They tough. They could take a punch. They might be as skilled, but regardless, they bigger. This is the reason they have weight classes. He's not a bully no more at 168. This is 175, man. And he couldn't hurt Gazvik at all. He says he was hurt. He said he had a cut. Okay, it is what it is. He's still a dangerous fight at 175. But beef on better beef? I don't know, man. I don't know. I will have to go with Bivol better beef against David, because from what I saw yesterday, he won't be able to hurt these guys. And Bivol's more skilled than Gazvik, and better beef, forget about it. I'm not going to even talk about him. That dude's a grizzly bear. Since 6 years old, he was sparring grizzly bears in the mountains of Russia. That dude is just different. But anyway, good performance by Benavidez. Shout to him. He did what he had to do, but 175, he don't look like no monster. He look like a regular fighter. And then real quick, Adames retains his belt. He beat Terrell Goucher in a very boring fight. And Alberto Puello, Dominican, upsets Gary Antoine Russell. Oh, man, that was a shocker. It was a solid scrap. Puello, counter, move, combinations. If he was just to let his hands go more, he probably would have stopped Gary Antoine in that fight, man, because he did hit him with a good body shot in the 12th. Should have been a knockdown, but that ref was on some bias shit, and he took a point from Puello on some bullshit because he didn't even warn him. But anyway, the right guy still won. Gary's still one of my favorite fighters. Listen, one L doesn't define your career. Now, let's jump on the plane. Let's go to the island, baby. My island. Puerto Rico. My man Subriel Matias versus the Australian Paro. And man, oh man, Subriel, what are you doing, bro? This dude doesn't throw punches for nothing. Subriel is very limited in what he does. But the problem is, guys, to get your offense going, everything starts and ends with the jab. Ask anybody. That shit is just boxing 101 simplest thing, man. And Subriel don't do that. So Leon Paro, why he did, he took advantage. He took it right to Subriel from the beginning. And it wasn't because he was just outclassing him. It was because Subriel wouldn't let his hands go. And when Subriel did let his hands go, good things were happening. It looked like he might take Paro out. But regardless, Paro was consistent from round 1 to round 12. Subriel wasn't. He easily gave the first 4 or 5 rounds away. And that's what ended up costing him the fight. And that referee, too, Luis Pabon, a native of Puerto Rico, too, one of my peoples, you was on some bullshit, too. Because you gave a stupid-ass deduction to Paro when he ain't do nothing. I didn't like that, man. 2 referees yesterday was on their bullshit. But guess what? The fighters that they looked like they was being biased for, end up losing. So anyway, man, Subriel, you still a play at 140. You still tough. But my man, it's back to the drawing board. You better let your hands go, because if not, you're going to get cooked. But anyway, Paro's the new champion at 140. That's him. That's Pitbull. That's Haney. And that's Tio. Maybe we get a unification. But anyway, it's your boy, the Maniac, and I'm out. 1.